Hey guys, welcome in. So, just want to give you a quick look at the markets here, just to give me just give you guys a little idea of what I'm expecting this week. Let's see where we are. So, as I mentioned on Friday, I believe it was, we have a 4-hour chart here on the Qs. You'll see we filled this fair value gap back from, I believe, September it was. Yeah, September 21st. We had this fair value gap here where we gapped down, and I think that might have been CPI actually. You'll see it on Friday, we actually filled that gap perfectly to at the top, and we started to come back down. And we also have that 4-hour supply up here that's going to be tough to get through, especially around 290 if Q can somehow get through that. But usually when we hit fair value gaps, there's about an 80% chance we're coming back the other way, and that's actually where I take a lot of my trades from. If you follow me, so I'm expecting us to, if anything, we might gap up. Not maybe not gap up as the Qs are down this morning, but I could see us getting up to that 290 area at like max, and then coming back down and probably testing eventually down here to these demands. Not so quick, but you'll see we are slowly the stochastics have crossed over here on the 4-hour. I like to watch the hourly stochastics because it gives you a better time frame on the like a longer horizon to see where we're headed. We also have our CCI uh, coming down, and if you notice, CCI has been coming down as price has been going up. That gives us a bearish divergence. Let's check out the daily here. On the daily, we got the fair value gap here. We bounced right off this strong low from back then, and then like I said, the fair value gap. I'm expecting us to come back down and at least test this 20-day today. I would say 276, 274 to 276 area will be some good support for the time being. And I think we're going to come down. We'll test it. We'll probably come up here, give a trend line test, and we will go back down and keep the trend still in a down position. On the SPY, you see I pretty much got the same thing drawn out. And an interesting stat that I found out on Friday was SPY has not gone over the 705 fib line on any bear market rally this entire bear market. And you'll see on Friday, look where we hit perfect. We hit perfect. Yeah, the 705 it hasn't gone over, but the 618 also always proves to be very good resistance. We hit that on Friday perfectly, and we started to come back, and we had some strong resistance there, and we came back. We came back a few dollars. So I think we're coming back down. We don't have the 20 average on here, but I think we'll come back down and test that as well. You'll see we have a hinged stochastic here. CCI does actually have a little more to go here on the daily. The 4-hour is going to be the same as the Qs. It's already coming down. Its price was going up. So that's what I'm looking at on the SPYs and the Qs. For the SPYs, let's go back to the daily here. I think we're coming back down to probably the 383, probably the 380 area would be a good mark before we can see a bounce because everything's just overbought right now. The SPY's up like $25 in 3 days, so I mean we got to have some consolidation before we can actually have some good uh, a good rally up. You also see we are starting a bearish divergence with the volume. So there's the buyers are starting to get a little exhausted. And then the 20-day, like I said, I think we're going to come down and test it. I have, and then you guys know I love my regression channels because they always work. They're like a cheat code. So on the 2-hour, you'll see anytime like we're in this downtrend with the 2-hour, at any time we got near the top, we came back down. So that's why I really like to follow these. So you see right here at the top of the 2-hour, we've already hit it, and we came right back down. And we've also been gapping down this morning, so we'll see where we end up. I like to watch the 2-hour and the 4-hour. The 4-hour's got a little more room to go, but you can see we're pretty much maxed out right at that 290 area, which also happens to be your supply. So it's pretty nice that it always works out. It usually works out that way. I should say always. It always works out that our supplies are going to be right at the top of these linear regression channels, and just for keepsake, let's look at the DXY quick. As we know, the DXY usually acts inversely to the SPYs and the Qs. Last week I said we might test this trend line. We actually went right through it. So now we are well below this a 20-day, and you'll see we've also got some fair value gaps. I'll zoom in here so you guys can see. We got some fair value gaps on the daily that are need to get filled now as well. So DXY could stay in this downfall for a little bit. I do think we're going to come down to this 105 area, and I think that's where we'll get our little pump maybe this week. Um, and then once we get this, I'm expecting us to come back up, and then that's when the Qs and the SPYs will initially start their back downturn. We did initiate a position in some January 270 puts on the Qs on Friday, and we're just going to hold those for the gap fill because the Qs do have a gap fill all the way back down to that 268 area. So that gap will fill. It's the Qs are not going to leave a $5 gap in the market before continuing higher. The VIX still it's broken. I've in my recollection, but I still like to look at it. So you said 20 days down here. We are bouncing out of this demand zone, but that was created from this break of structure right here. So this demand zone needed to be retested. So and you'll see today we closed in it and then we gapped up this morning from it. But be careful, we do have a supply up here in the 25 area. But I do think the VIX is headed for that 25 area. So with that, that's what I'm looking at for this week. Don't forget 0 days until expiration options have now came out for every day on the SPYs and the Qs now. It's a big retail earnings week, and we also have PPI this week. So stay on your heels, make good trades. Let's have a good week.